In the kitchen. A young girl is playing in her bedroom when she hears her mother call to her from the kitchen. She runs downstairs to meet her mother. As she's running through the hallway, the door to the cupboard under the stairs opens, and a hand reaches out and pulls her in. It's her mother. She whispers to her child, "Don't go into the kitchen. I heard it too. Be careful." In recent weeks, a rash of murders has swept the city. Police are calling it the work of a serial killer, but when questioned about this statement, police spokesman Daniel Garfield refused to comment. All authorities will say at the moment is that each victim received a voicemail minutes before they were killed, saying, quote, "Be careful." Once again, be careful. Police are still investigating the events, and ask that anyone with information about these murders contact them immediate. You shut off the TV. Sick of bad news for the night. A glance at the clock on the DVR tells you that it's 4 minutes past 3. You sigh. Your wife won't be home for another hour at least. She's been working the night shift all week. Tired of waiting, you crawl into bed and fall asleep, thinking of the recent murders. Don't you have a friend on the police force? You should really call him sometime. Tomorrow morning you awake next to your wife. She must have come home sometime last night. Poor thing looks dead tired. You decide to just let her sleep. Getting up and around, you flick on the radio in time to hear, "Murderer struck again last night." This same message was found on the voicemail of the latest victim. Police are continuing off again. Still raving about the serial killer. You grumble your way to the coffee machine when the phone starts to ring. You freeze. What if... No, it couldn't be. That kind of thing happens to other people. Nonetheless, your hand shakes slightly just as you reach for the handset. You pick up the phone. Your hand shaking even worse now. As the connection comes through, you hear a voice on the other end take a breath as your blood freezes in your veins. "Hey, I was just starting to wonder if you would ever pick up. It's Jim, your friend on the police force." You breathe a sigh of relief. "Thank God. Sorry, I was busy," you mutter, feeling ridiculous, not to mention slightly embarrassed, for thinking it could possibly be the killer. "Listen, the force gave me the day off, so I was wondering if you wanted to go out for breakfast. Just us guys, like old times. I want to get my mind off these murders. But look, my car's in the shop, so if you pick me up in 10. Sure, you agree. You exchange goodbyes and hang up. It's about a 10-minute drive to his house anyway, so you scribble a hasty note to your wife and head out the door. You get held up in traffic on the way, and end up arriving about 15 minutes late. You walk to the front door, mentally preparing for an apology as you tap the bell. No one answers, so you ring again, wondering if you hit it fully the first time. Still receiving no answer after the third attempt, you try the doorknob. Unlocked. You twist the cold metal and step inside cautiously, calling for Jim. A smell punches you right in the gut, slightly metallic and sickly sweet. The thick miasma seems to be coming from the kitchen. Following your nose, you step into the room. The walls are painted red in what must be blood, and the floors are swimming with the stuff. Jim and his wife lay on the floor. Their chests, arms, and legs are cut into pieces. You throw up, violently, staring around in horror. Then your eye catches something. A red message. Light blinks slowly on the phone. You don't play the message. You already know what it says. Bolting out the front door, your only thought is to get out of the house as fast as you can. Forget the cops. You just want to be away from the grisly image of your best friend lying dead on the floor. You head to the one and only place you can think of, back home. You slam the door shut behind you. As you come in the door, tracking bloody footprints on the floor. You reach the kitchen and call for your wife, but your voice catches mid-yell. Your tracks aren't the only ones. You hear the click of the lock behind you, and your wife's voice says gently, "I just wanted you to be careful." Friends forever. Why do you continue to seek me out? You cannot find me if I do not will it. I am the night, and yet you know I'm here. I see you, shivering as I cross the room. You twitch when I slip under your bed. You can feel me. Do you feel my breath on the nape of your neck? Do you notice my nails on your flesh? Do you meet my eyes in the dark of night? Yes, you know I'm here. I've always been here. Things were different when you were young. Your little eyes could see me then. You would scream and point at me, trying to hide behind the bars of your crib. You would continue to scream as your mother lifted you. It was only when she flipped the switch and brought light to your pathetic world that I would leave. But it was no matter, for she would leave. She always left. And I would come back. You learned quickly. Bawling wasn't going to drive me out. You decided to ignore me, to pretend I wasn't there, even as my greasy hair hung over your face and my breath rattled in your ear. Still, you ignored me. You became very good at it. I tried, of course, to make myself noticed. Small things at first. A misplaced shoe, toys rolling across the floor, an open window. But that was too easy for you to ignore, too simple for you to explain. Do you remember your pet? That putrid creature you adored so much? The one that Mommy said ran away? I assure you, it was in no fit state to run when I was finished with it. Do you remember that little girl? That precious child who shared her candy with you? You always paid attention to her. You never ignored her. I hated her. Pity about the accident. How unfortunate for an innocent child to fall victim to a rabid dog. How I laughed when your mother said that. A rabid dog. She had no face left, you know. I got carried away. The taste of blood, the shrill screams in my ear. It overwhelmed me. But still, you ignored me. You became more withdrawn after that, spending hours on your computer, shut up in your room. It was great at first. We were closer than ever. You stayed up late, and I watched over your shoulder as you trawled on the internet, researching how best to end your wretched life. You tried once too, but the rope snapped. Do you remember? Well, I just couldn't let you off that easy. I couldn't let you skip out on me. I will decide when you go. Your life is mine to take only when I decide. So little has changed since then. Sure, you got a job. You moved out. But I followed. You still sit in front of that screen every night, whittling away your time, numbing your senses, so you can drift off without suffering through those moments in between consciousness and sleep. Those moments where you catch a glimpse of me shuffling across the room, where you see the glint in my eyes and the sense of the chill in a room. How I savor those moments. You have forgotten me, yet you know I'm here. You turn on the lights in your bravest of moments, searching for me. But when you dissipate the dark, I too go with it. For I am the dark. I am the dark of your soul. And I will never leave. At least, not alone. Oh, some night you will see me, in all my horrific majesty, and I will be the last thing you see.